Welcome everybody to Forza Motorsport 7, and today we're taking a look at the 1968 Subaru 360. Now this is not named after the Xbox 360 or because it's notable for spinning out, but it is a car that was produced from 1958 to 1971, and the production reached 392,000, and it was Subaru's first full production vehicle. And yeah, it was built in response to the Japanese government's K-car regulations, which, you know, were stipulated to have cars at a certain size, with a certain engine size, and a certain amount of power and top speed, etc. like that. So yeah, it's the first actual K car we've actually had on a Forza game, and yeah, I'm really glad it is in the game because it adds variety, and it's yeah, a kind of car that we've not had on a Forza game before. And yeah, there should be more quirky Japanese cars like this on a game like this. But nonetheless, yeah, it does look like a lot like a Fiat 500 from the 60s, and which is no surprise. A lot of Japanese cars from the 60s and 70s did take inspiration from European cars at that time, but nonetheless it does have its own you know, differences from the Fiat 500. These doors, for instance, which are really rather nice, and yeah, really rather spacious interior. Not to say that the Fiat 500 didn't have a spacious interior, but considering this car was, you know, actually designed to regulations rather than just design that, you know, from the start, it's yeah, really rather spacious in here for a car that was supposed to be really rather small no matter what. And yeah, even the front, as you would call it, the front trunk has a spare wheel, a jack and a battery in there, so it's really rather well appointed. And then there's the engine. 360 name denotes the engine size, well, or slightly, at 356 cc's, and it's a two-cylinder, two-stroke engine. Actually has a Subaru-matic component in it that mixes the fuel and oil automatically, unlike the likes of a Saab 9-3 where you had to drive it in a certain manner to mix the fuel and the oil, because, you know, two-stroke engines work by lubricating the engine as long as it's moving. But this did it automatically, so that's obviously a good thing. And yeah, 25 horsepower and 25 pounds-feet of torque, which I know doesn't sound a lot, but the car does only weigh 1,143 pounds, and yeah, that means that, you know, it doesn't have all that much weight to shift around. Does have less power than the Abarth 595, which is the only old Fiat 500 variant we have on this game, but, you know, it's still 25 horsepower for such a lightweight small car is not too shabby whatsoever. So yeah, obviously this isn't the most powerful vehicle ever, but we are going to take it out onto the track nonetheless to see what it can do. So see you when we get there. Right, we're at Lime Rock full circuit alternate. I'm going to take this car around for a couple of laps and see what it's made of. So yeah, being a K car, being, you know, having to apply to strict regulations, obviously limits the capabilities of the vehicle. But for something with only 25 horsepower and yeah, a really rather small engine, I think outside of the BMW Isetta, it's probably the smallest engine on the game. And it's really rather fun to drive, purely because, you know, got extremely skinny tyres, really rather soft suspension, so you can just hurl it into corners, and yeah, it will just either hanging on there or it will start to squirm about a little bit and making it a lot more exciting than you'd expect for such a low horsepower vehicle. So yeah, fairly decent. Obviously it is one of the slowest vehicles on the game, at 0 to 60 time of 48 seconds dead, and it can't get to 100 mile an hour as its top speed is 72. So yeah, not all that quick, but you know, speed isn't everything. I always said that. That's why I like vehicles like this coming into a game like this, because it has variety. And quite frankly, I hope we get some more K cars, either from the 60s or later on, because there are plenty of good cars out there from Japan that met those regulations. There was an old episode of Top Gear that had a few K cars like the Honda Beat on it, and yeah, certainly looks really rather interesting. Now obviously the 0 to 60 time is a lot slower than the likes of the Abarth 595, it's full 20 seconds slower fact, so not very quick at all. But again, it's not about speed, and quite frankly the fact you can floor it everywhere and really not have to head off is really rather enjoyable. And then the fact that we actually have a 2-stroke engine, again, it's something that is not all that common on racing games, especially Forza. Also adds more variety to the game. Now you could get a 36 horsepower version of this car, and I imagine that would be even more fun. But obviously you can upgrade the car on this game if you so wish to have more power out of it, which I presume a lot of people will. But yeah, you know, you could make that 36 horsepower version if you so wish, just to see what a car like that would have been like. I imagine it would have been even more fun with just that little bit of extra power, but still very little in the way of weight. And obviously it is rear engine and rear wheel drive, so it does dynamically have the capabilities of being a fun little track car. And yeah, it's a car that I've never heard of before. Certainly didn't know Subaru started off with vehicles like this, but its impressive production numbers obviously helped Subaru continue on making cars. And yeah, I guess you could say you could thank this for you know, eventually bringing out Lexus WRX STI. Because if this had failed, maybe Subaru would have never been able to carry on. So in some way you have to thank this car for bringing out even better Subarus along later in life. So yeah, I'm glad it's on the game, and yeah, hopefully it's a sign of more quirky, odd, not relatively unknown as far as I'm concerned, Japanese cars in the future. Because yeah, I like discovering new vehicles, even if they aren't all that quick. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.